Intermittent fasting is an eating pattern that involves alternating periods of eating and fasting. Unlike traditional diets that focus on what you eat, intermittent fasting is more concerned with when you eat. The concept of fasting has been practiced for centuries and it has deep roots in various religions and cultural traditions. However, intermittent fasting as a health and weight loss strategy has gained popularity in the recent years due to its potential benefits. So in this video, we'll dive deep into the 4 best types of intermittent fasting patterns that people follow around the world. These methods vary in terms of the fasting and feeding windows, but they all share the same underlying principle: giving your body a break from constant digestion and allowing it to tap into stored fat reserves. Please watch the video till the end as I will discuss how I personally employ a combination of these methods that suit my needs and help me achieve my goals faster. I will also suggest tips and strategies that will allow you to pick one or a combination of 2 or more intermittent fasting methods that perfectly aligns with your lifestyle. So the most popular and straightforward approach to fasting is the 16-8 method. It involves dividing the day into 2 distinct periods: a fasting window and an eating window, also known as the feeding window. So during the fasting window, you abstain from consuming any calories, while during the eating window, you consume all your daily calories within a specified time frame. So the fasting window of the 16-8 method typically lasts for 16 hours. This means you refrain from eating any food or calorie containing beverages during this period. However, you are allowed to drink non-caloric beverages such as water, black coffee, herbal tea, or apple cider vinegar to help starve off hunger and stay hydrated. The fasting period usually starts after dinner in the evening and continues until the following day's lunchtime or mid-afternoon. So the feeding window of the 16-8 method spans 8 hours, during which you consume all your daily calories. This window typically includes 2 or 3 meals depending on your personal preference and schedule. So it's essential to eat balanced meals that provide adequate nutrition and satisfy your hunger during this time. It's strongly recommended to focus on whole, nutrient-dense foods to support overall health. To illustrate the 16-8 method, let's consider a typical fasting and eating schedule. Suppose you finish dinner at 8 p.m. on one day. In that case, you would begin your fasting window at 8 p.m. and continue fasting overnight and into the next day until 12 p.m. This would count as 16 hours of fasting. Then at 12 p.m. you can have your first meal or breakfast, followed by 1 or 2 snacks, and then finally finish eating your dinner at 8 p.m. again. Therefore, your feeding window would be between 12 and 8 p.m. and fasting window will be from 8 p.m. until 12 p.m. the next day. So one of the key advantages of the 16-8 method is its flexibility and adaptability to individual lifestyles and preferences. You can adjust the timing of your fasting and eating windows to fit your schedule, whether you prefer to skip breakfast and have an early lunch or delay your first meal until later in the day. The goal is to maintain consistency with the fasting and eating windows each day to reap the benefits of intermittent fasting. The 5-2 method of intermittent fasting is another approach where you eat normally for 5 days of the week and then restrict your caloric intake for the remaining 2 days. On those 2 fasting days, you consume significantly fewer calories than usual. The fasting days are not necessarily consecutive. You can choose any days that works best for your schedule, but it's recommended to space them out throughout the week. For example, you can select Monday and Thursday as your low calorie days. On these days, you need to limit your caloric intake to about 500 to 600 calories for women and 600 to 800 calories for men. These calories are usually consumed in 1 or 2 small meals. You can consume these calories in a restricted feeding window, or you can space them out throughout the day as per your preference. On fasting days, you can eat your regular diet, but just ensure you're eating a plant-forward diet where most of the calories come from whole plant-based foods. A major benefit of this 5-2 pattern of eating is that it reduces your overall calories for a given week. Let me say this: most people underestimate the food that they eat. On certain days, usually on a Friday or a Saturday night, they end up eating 20 to 30% extra than they would normally eat. For people who are trying to lose weight, this increases their guilt meter and they end up giving their dieting effort altogether. But if they follow the 5-2 approach, they can easily drop down the calories to less than 1000. This allows them to stay on track with the health and fitness goals minus the guilt.